Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. Really appreciate you taking time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciated, so thank you in advance. Now, today's episode, you're going to start to notice a pattern with some of the games that we cover as we get ready to finish this list. And it's a lot of the PS3 360 era games. And one of the reasons why I enjoyed a lot of these games is because it felt like we were getting like big budget movies in video game form, which could be a bad thing. But for me, you know, I was a big fan of this. And one of these games that kind of encapsulates that for me is Lost Planet 2. Now, the Lost Planet series, this is the second out of 3 entries. The first game was a solo game, and it was like you're on Eden, which first and foremost, any planet named Eden is going to be bad for everybody involved, right? It's just kind of an understood thing. So, you know, the planet is extremely cold. You have to use thermal energy, and you get a lot of this thermal energy by killing the inhabitants of the planet. And the inhabitants happen to be like giant bugs, which is, you know, a great time if you are a fan of, you know, things like Aliens and, you know, any of the movies from like the 90s where you fighting giant like space bug things, the 80s, 90s, all of those good things, right? Not so much the first Aliens because that was a little more scarier than anything, but you know, the action style ones, this is what this is. Now, the second one, which is the one that we played the most of, was multiplayer, and this is like you're going from all of the cold weather, everything, to now it's like this lush jungle, and the inhabitants of the planets, these giant insects, are fighting back as they should, because we kind of just trying to take over their planet. And then now you got multiple factions, and you're dealing with not only the creatures, but you're also dealing with people. But the cool thing was you could take 4 people, jump into it as we did, and you can have yourself a ball. So I really enjoyed going through this campaign. You know, me and Jonathan, Zach, and Steven, we were playing through this, and it was like every mission is chaotic. Every time you look up, you're getting ambushed. There are things flying at you. There's big giant things, you know, coming out of everywhere. But you also have really cool weapons. You know, it's not like anything new as far as the weapon types. You got your assault rifles, your shotguns, snipers, machine guns, and then you also have these mechs called VSs or verses, whatever you want to call them, right? That you can get in. And, you know, gives you a little bit of more firepower, gives you a little tankiness, right? Because you're running around using your thermal energy to repair yourself when you get damaged, which was a cool feature, you know. So you basically use your points to keep yourself, you know, intact. And I'm just a fan of, like, you know, the Earth Defense Force games where you're fighting giant bug-like or kaiju-like creatures. Like, any game of that matter, it works. I'm sorry. Just from a video game standpoint, it's fun. I don't care if it's repetitive. I don't care if it's redundant. Just let me destroy giant insectoid-like things with me and my buddies, and I'm going to be a happy camper. And that's what this game is. So, you know, you could do the campaign. They basically got like their version of horror mode and things like that, that you can do in addition to like going through the missions. And of course, you can increase the difficulty. You get more monsters, more people. You're gonna need more guns, more explosions, more grenades, all that good stuff. So I always had a good time with this. Unfortunately, this series never made it past the PS3 era, you know, but Capcom was trying stuff, and I appreciate them trying things. And, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing another Lost Planet pop up. You know, we kind of getting a combination of Lost Planet / Dino Crisis with the Exo Primal game, so we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, I just wanted to make sure that we shouted out this series that I really enjoyed. So if you know about this series as well, love to hear from you. You know, what entry that you played. Like I said, the second one we played the most of, so that's the one we're gonna shout out today, but any of them is fine with me. As always, I appreciate you letting me reminisce with you. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.